Hey guys, so yes, I know that it is way too early to have a spoiler review when it just dropped in cinemas today, but a lot of what I want to talk about in this is the spoilers. So good news, I definitely liked this one a lot more than the first one. Like not just a little bit, but a lot. It's one of those rare times where a sequel beats its predecessor, and I feel like a lot of people are going to agree because a lot of people seem to not like that the tone was not as dark as they wanted it to be in the first movie. And I just had this image in my head of where I wanted it to go in the sequel, the sort of tone I wanted. And it's like they took what was inside of my head and put it onto a movie screen. Seriously though, it is just darker in tone and atmosphere. It's creepy. Like this is a movie about ghost kids and animatronics that move on their own. It should be creepy, and I didn't find the first one creepy at all. And this one, look, is it going to scare me as an adult? Yes. If I was home alone watching this in the dark, I would be scared. It is creepy. It's not relying on blood and guts. It doesn't have those moments, and I'm fine with that. I'm all about the atmosphere and the tone, not the gore and the carnage. So a lot of it was implied again, but it still had that darker element to it, that more grown-up feel. This is a movie I would say I wouldn't take young children to. I think they'll be scared. So you see a lot of them in movie theaters, in like movies that even have that rating that they're not allowed to be in. So I don't know what some parents are thinking. Anyway, so when it comes to me as a non-gamer, well, I used to play the Nintendo 64 back in the day when dinosaurs roamed the earth. I have no idea. Going into the first movie, I had no idea about the lore. I still don't. I can't talk about Easter eggs or anything like that. But I will say, as a non-gamer, I found this franchise very accessible. It was very easily laid out, the key characters, the plot points that I needed to know. But I would be interested in knowing, for those of you that are familiar with the game, how it differs in the lore. Let me know down below. So the cast of this was pretty amazing. We had T. O'Brien's from Final Destination Bloodline, such a great movie. He was there as the Ghost Hunter crew along with McKenna Grace, who is definitely having a good year. She's been in some romance movie, and then she's going to be in the new Scream movie, the new Hunger Games movie, so she's definitely the Hollywood young star of the moment. And yeah, she basically dies in this, and we'll go into that later, but anyway, she was in it for only a small part of the movie. We have Newman from Seinfeld. I love that show. So he played the high school teacher who was a bit of a jerk and got killed by one of the animatronics. And we have Matt Pat from YouTube, who voiced Bonnie, and Megan Fox voicing Chica. And we had what a lot of people like me, as you can tell, I'm a Scream fan by my little ghost faces back there. We had Skeet Ulrich and Matthew Lillard in the same movie, and unfortunately Skeet was only in it for like 5 minutes and he didn't have any screen time with Matthew, and that would have been really cool to see them together, especially in a horror movie. But oh well, you know, they're still both in this movie. Though to be honest, I'm surprised that they didn't try to capitalize more on the Scream fans and have them as a larger part of the movie. But anyway, we have Mike, Vanessa, and Abby back. So I really enjoyed the score in this movie. It just set the tone so well. It was so creepy. So basically, we have the opening scene at the original pizzeria, and we have this girl, Charlotte, who's in trouble and trying to get help from the parents at the pizzeria, but they're all ignoring her. So she goes and gets killed by William Afton in his bunny costume, and she basically dies there and becomes a vengeful ghost who would go on to hate parents and try to kill them in this movie. And she possesses the marionette doll, and when she possesses people, they take over like the marionette features and float around, and it's really creepy. So this takes place before the events of the first movie, before those children were killed. Charlotte gets killed first, and she controls the other animatronics. So they're duplicate, sort of like spare copies of the animatronics from the first movie. And they're all just controlled by her. So she goes on to possess McKenna Grace's ghost hunter character. And then she goes after Abby and possesses her. So we find out that Vanessa has a brother, Michael Acton, who is in this movie and is really creepy. So he is basically helping Charlotte to kill people in the present day. He wants to continue his father's legacy, and he's mad that Vanessa doesn't want to help him. So we see flashbacks of Vanessa and her childhood and how she's got a connection to Charlotte because they used to be friends. And we see William Afton as a father, and Matthew Lillard, he's known for his goofy roles. Even in Scream, he was fairly comedic and goofy. But here he shows that he can really be menacing as well when he wants to. So the day is saved by the original ghost kids from the first movie. So the little blonde boy and his friends turn up and save Abby because they've got that connection with her. And it seems for a moment that all is okay, though Vanessa and Mike they're not in a good place in their relationship because Vanessa lied to Mike about so many things. And then Vanessa, just when we think it's over, she gets possessed by the ghost of Charlotte, who is apparently still alive. So now the little blonde boy, the ghost of him and the other children, their spirits are at rest finally, so they can move on, which means that they can't control William Afton. Apparently they've been sort of holding his ghost at bay, but now he's going to get out. And then we have the mid-credit scene. So we see some people going into the building to try to get like souvenirs before the pizzeria gets demolished, and they find the animatronic that William Afton used, the bunny rabbit one, and take it with them just before the building gets demolished, and we see the eyes light up. So obviously there's going to be a third movie, and I'm excited about that. It left me on a cliffhanger where I really want to see more, and I really hope they continue with the tone of this movie. So with the ghost of Charlotte and William Afton both being alive, well, you know what I mean, like together, like, will they team up? That's the question, because you have to remember William killed Charlotte, but she doesn't seem to be holding a grudge. She just cares about killing the parents. So that'd be interesting to see where they go with that. And I found it refreshing that there was no social commentary in this. I haven't got a problem with social commentary, but it feels like it's in every movie. It felt refreshing to have a movie with none of that, no swearing. I'd be interested, like I said, to know how the events of this movie differs from the lore of the game. So let me know down below. If you've seen the movie, let me know what you thought of it. I would give this an 8 out of 10. So anyway, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all of that YouTube stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next video.